Waterfront condos and yacht marinas threaten the Cortez way of life. The lure of easy money actually threatened people's lives here. The presence of a large fishing fleet made Cortez a natural for drug smuggling, and more than a few residents, including my cousin, Junior Guthrie, succumbed to that temptation.
We lost about seven. Seven died in about a 3 or 4 year period from drugs, accidents that would not have happened if they had not been using drugs. And all of a sudden, you could tell a lot of money was found, expensive cars and four-wheel drive trucks and a whole fleet of those little three-wheel vehicles came out one morning. And just, he was flaunting the money and the parties, loud music, like he was making a statement to the community. I'm doing this thing, and sort of thumbing his nose at us. And it made me angry with the community because they looked the other way.
But Sue Maddox and a handful of local women refused to just look the other way.
Well, when the last fella, Harold Garnto, was killed, and I was going to, a boating accident that wouldn't have happened if he hadn't been using drugs. And I was going to send some flowers to his funeral, and I thought, well, I'll just rent a sign and make a... I was angry, and I wanted, I guess, people to know I was angry. So I rented a porta sign, and I told the guy who rented it that it may be damaged, but I'd pay. I thought maybe a kid would throw a rock at it. They did pull it out into the street and doused it with gasoline, and I heard popping. I was in the back of the house, and by the time I got to the porch, there were flames 20 feet in the sky. I was scared then. For the first time, I really felt fear. And I thought, well, the house might be next. Then we had an anti-drug campaign about the restaurant opening. That was the next.
Of course, Sue had always been very outspoken about the drug smuggling, and living there, she knew more about who was doing what. And when she called me and she said that this one person was opening up a restaurant, and we knew that he had been involved in the drugs, and at least we thought this was alleged that, and she said, I went out and picketed, how about joining me? And I thought, well, with the number of people who died from the village, and having been a drug education teacher and knowing about students and drugs and the number of people who were being killed, I felt it was the least that we could do.
And how about the people driving by? And
Oh, a lot of thumbs up, and some shaking their fists, kind of, and some young fellows who had had a little too much to drink stopped by to hassle me. And by that time, though, my son had come, and he was sitting way back on his motorcycle just to keep an eye on things. But all in all, it was very satisfying. I'm glad I did it.
Gradually, the business of Cortez returned to fishing as the local drug runners went to jail and their operations moved elsewhere. The village survived the siege of condos and drugs thanks to the Sue Maddoxes and Wyman Corseys and their neighbors.